Hi, my name is Sarah Zuby, and for my vlog today, I will be picking a sentence from Zami and assessing it. My revolutionary fervor that had begun with a white waitress refusing to serve my family ice cream in the nation's capital was becoming a clearer and clearer position, a lens through which to view the world, on page 87. Though instilled in her head at a young age, and now newly learning the prevalent problem of racial discrimination, rather than taking this new view or new lens of the world and contributing it to negativity and a form of oppression in which she must accept, Lord instead fights back against this stigma, and it then becomes her revolutionary fervor to embrace her own identity, assets in an accepting and positive light. When assessing the sentence, this is Audrey's first realization that she has about how racial discrimination is prevalent. And before this insight of hers, the theme of ignoring the problem of race was instilled into her. This first self-realization problematizes the text in the sense that this complicates her own identity because her whole life she was brought up to believe that race is something to be ignored. And now, after her first-hand experience, this problem was becoming a clearer and clearer position, a lens through which to view the world. She then had to get rid of her past outlook and have a new outlook on life than the one she did before. And this expanded my thoughts on why she begins to transition to self-acceptance within the next few chapters. And I believe the first realization is the beginning of her process to self-acceptance, because even though this sentence formulates because around oppression, it is self-realization of oppression. It is then she can now accept this is who she is and can now move forward in it, and that she is bigger than this rather than just ignore it. Though within this sentence, that this view that racial discrimination was a white waitress refusing to serve my family ice cream in the nation's capital was becoming a clearer and clearer position. This is a contradictory aspect within the sentence, because the sentence talks about how this significant moment in Audrey's life that showed a time that Audrey was denied and showed oppression took place in the nation's capital, and it's a place commonly connotated with freedom. And this further problematizes the text by complicating once again her ignorant viewpoint on race, that even though she was in the nation's capital, still she was oppressed. But I believe this insight about the world she now knew plays into the work as a whole by formulating a new view on life, which then leads to her self-acceptance of identity, and this further develops Audrey, and the sentence addresses that this was a revolutionary fervor that gave her a new lens to which to view the world. Though on the surface, this new lens to view the world in may be viewed as negative, being Audrey now realized that oppression is real and there's nothing you can do. But rather, when looking deeper, I believe this new view on the world gives Audrey a realistic insight on the world that now she realizes it exists, and since she realizes it exists, she can now push back on it. This sentence pulls a prevalent theme established in the beginning of the text that race can be ignored, and this sentence then fights back against that theme of racial discrimination and ignoring it by rather embracing it. Therefore, this realization of oppression and then fighting back against it can better help her strongly identify as a Black woman and a lesbian in future chapters. And rather than viewing these things as form of oppression and just ignoring it. To cope with it, she rather embraces it and establishes it as her identity as a person in a positive and accepting light.